At 6:15, my alarm goes off, and for exactly 4 seconds, I genuinely consider becoming a goat farmer. No Jira tickets on a goat farm, no incident channels, just vibes and grass. But then I remember I actually love what I do, well, most days, and that my bond has very strong opinions about me staying employed. I'm a senior backend engineer working on large scale enterprise systems Azure, AWS, GCP, microservices, mobile backends, the whole circus. I've been doing it for about 20 years and I still Google things every day. Sometimes I use AI. Well, that's the new niche. If that makes you feel better about where you are, good. That was the point. Let me walk you through a real life day. Looks like not the LinkedIn version, the real one. I sit down with my coffee. This is cup number one of a consistent three, sometimes four if production has opinions. And I start with what I call my context loading phase: emails, Slack messages, pull request notifications. Basically, I'm reading the story of everything that happened while I was sleeping. Then I check the sprint board. We're mid sprint, which means half the tickets say in progress, and have been saying that for 5 days. We don't talk about that. It's fine. My deep work block is from about 8 to 11. That is sacred time. This morning I'm writing an RFC, a request for comment, for a new event-driven architecture we're proposing. We're breaking apart a monolithic notification service into smaller, independently deployable pieces using Azure Service Bus and a handful of Azure functions. Writing an RFC sounds glamorous, but it's really just you arguing with yourself in a Google Doc for hours, drawing boxes and arrows, and then asking six people to tell you why you're wrong, which they will enthusiastically. But this is the part of a senior work nobody tells you about early enough. The code matters, absolutely, but decisions around the code, the trade-offs, the system boundaries, the why not the other way, that's where the real impact lives. Monday, 11:30 a.m. Late morning hits, and with it comes the meeting block. I have stand up, which despite the name, I attend while fully seated with a snack. Then a cross-stream sync with the mobile squad, where we align on a new API contract for the upcoming app release. Between meetings, I squeeze in a code review. One of our mid-level devs submitted a solid PR, but there's a concurrency issue hiding in the queue consumer logic. I leave a comment and I try hard to make it constructive and kind because I still remember what it felt like to get a review that it just said wrong and no context. This is also peak interruption hour. Someone pings me about a staging environment that's actually weird. Someone else asks if I can hop on a quick call, which in developer years is never quick. And there's a thread in our incident channel about a 502 error that turned out to be a misconfigured health check classic. Context switching is a silent killer of productivity, and by noon my brain has about 14 of tabs open. I don't mean in the browser, well, also in the browser. Afternoon, 1:30 p.m. After lunch, I tackle the problem solving block. Today there's a weird latency spike in one of our microservices that only happens under specific load conditions. So I'm digging through application insights, reading distribution traces like they were detective novels, and slowly realizing the issue is a downstream dependency that's slightly retrying our timeout. Debugging is distributed systems is humbling. You think you know what the problem is. You're wrong. You think it's a database. It's not. It's always DNS. I'm kidding, mostly. About 3 p.m., one of the junior developers messaged me. She's stuck on setting up a new consumer for our event pipeline. And honestly, her question is a good one. So I hop on a short call, we paired through it, and I watched that moment happen. The one where it clicks. That's the best part of my job. I will die on that hill. Mentoring isn't a side quest, it's the main storyline. The best engineers I've ever worked with were the ones who made everyone around them better. Evening, 5:30 p.m. I wrap up around 5:30. I push my branch, update my tickets, and yes, I add extra subscriptions in my commit messages now because I've been burned in the past too many times. Evenings for family, dinner the chaos that is bedtime with kids, and then maybe an hour of quiet where I tinker with a side project. Right now, it is a small open source CLI tool that nobody asked for, but that I find deeply satisfying to build. Some nights I read docs, watch a conference talk, or just scroll through the tech blogs. Not because I have to, but because genuine curiosity is the one thing that kept me in this career longer than anything else. Here's what I tell you if I was starting out, or if you were in the middle and wondering if it gets easier. It doesn't get easier, exactly, but it gets more comfortable with the uncertainty. Stop expecting you know everything and you start trusting the ability to figure things out. And that's shift that changes everything. Software development 2026 is wild, complex, and honestly pretty wonderful if you find your rhythm. If this felt familiar or if your day looks completely different, drop a comment and, and tell me. I'm really curious about what your version of your life looks like. And if you got something out of this, a like or subscribe would mean the world. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.